Zhang Yi answers an unexpected call from Xing Tian, the ruler of Qingpu Base, who immediately drops the pretense of a stranger and identifies himself as Xing Weinan, Zhang Yi's old junior high school classmate from the Jinqiu residential area. Xing Tian reminisces about their school days, contrasting his own poor grades and lack of prospects with Zhang Yi's popularity and academic success, and expresses a mix of nostalgia and boastfulness about his meteoric rise to power. He quickly pivots to business, revealing that Yangsheng Base and Chaoyu Base have recruited both Qingpu Base and the snow worship cult into a four-pronged coalition aimed at destroying Zhang Yi's shelter. Xing Tian admits Qingpu Base has no personal grudge and prefers stability, offering to sit out the coming war in exchange for 10,000 kilograms of food. Zhang Yi, internally noting that 10 tons is a trivial amount compared to the canned goods he seized from Xishan Base and the untouched supplies in Wang Ximing's warehouse, masks his calculation behind a moment of silence. He distrusts the sudden reappearance of a childhood acquaintance who now holds life and death leverage, recognizing that people change drastically in the apocalypse. Instead of accepting outright, Zhang Yi proposes a staggered payment, a partial deposit immediately, with the balance delivered only after the conflict ends and Qingpu Base demonstrates genuine neutrality. Xing Tian grants him until noon the following day to decide, ending the call with a veiled threat that refusal will place them on opposite sides of the battlefield. Alone in his softly lit room, Zhang Yi weighs the ease of the supply against the risk of betrayal, already formulating a contingency plan. The unexpected call from Xing Tian, revealed as Zhang Yi's junior high classmate Xing Weinan, crystallized the threat. A four-faction coalition including Yangsheng Base, Chaoyu Base, Qingpu Base, and the snow worship cult would attack the shelter imminently. Zhang Yi, confident in the shelter's deep underground defenses and the coalition's lack of bunker buster ordnance, chose to fracture the alliance by negotiating Qingpu Base's neutrality. He offered 10 tons of food drawn from ample stockpiles of heavy liquid-packed cans from Xishan Base and Wang Ximing's warehouse, with only a partial deposit up front and the remainder contingent on Qingpu's non-participation, setting a noon deadline for Xing Tian's answer. Zhang Yi immediately convened the shelter's core team. The news of a four-pronged assault sobered everyone. The pressure exceeded even the Xishan Base conflict. Yet Yang Xinqing calmly dissected the coalition's structural weakness. Only Yangsheng and Chaoyu held genuine grievances, while Qingpu and the snow worship cult had been coerced or bribed. Without fundamental conflicts, they would likely faint rather than fight to the death. Uncle Yu correctly identified their critical vulnerability: insufficient manpower to hold extended lines if the enemy committed en masse. Zhang Yi countered with a terrain-based strategy. The two low mountains behind the shelter and treacherous, snow-slicked roads confine any assault to a roughly 120-degree frontal arc, allowing concentrated firepower from the ice-embedded weapon emplacements. His goal was not annihilation but deterrence, repelling the attack decisively enough to enforce a post-battle demilitarized zone around the shelter. Fatty Su pressed the superhuman variable. Yangsheng's fuel reserves could transport heavy engineering equipment, and unknown ability users might breach the shelter itself. Zhang Yi's response was quiet but absolute. Since the Xishan Base battle, he had absorbed the superhuman energy of 4 ability users including Lingfeng. His defensive capacity now dwarfed his offensive output by an order of magnitude. On home ground, he would personally neutralize any superhuman threat. The team's tension evaporated at his certainty Zhang Yi's steadiness was its own guarantee. As the discussion concluded, Hua Hua, the mutant cat perched beside Zhang Yi, snapped to alert, heterochromatic pupils fixed on the storm-lashed darkness. A low, warning meow rose from its throat. Through binoculars, Zhang Yi picked out a solitary figure, a frail, gray-robed elderly man leaning on a cane, trudging through the blizzard toward the shelter. No ordinary elder would venture out in such cold. This was either supreme confidence or a calculated gamble on Zhang Yi's restraint. Uncle Yu's voice cut through the wind. He recognized the man. Zhao Jianhua, Grand Law Enforcer of the Baishues sect, the snow worship cult, the most enigmatic and reviled of the 4 factions. Yang Xinqin immediately framed the encounter. The Baishues sect, despised by the other major powers and rooted in the Japanese divine principle sect's exploitative doctrines, was the alliance's weakest link. Zhang Yi, harboring no goodwill toward the cult's predatory history, nevertheless accepted the pragmatic calculus of cooperation based on mutual value, not preference. He dispatched Fatty Su beyond the defensive perimeter to parley, microphone live, Zhang Yi's golden desert eagle tracking the old man's every step. Fatty Su advanced reluctantly, ice-type abilities primed in the freezing air. Across the snow, Zhao Jianhua halted, gray eyes flaring with dark golden light as his chi observation pierced the storm, reading the extraordinary aura radiating from the seemingly unassuming Fatty standing in the shelter's shadow. Zhao Jianhua, the Grand Law Enforcer of the snow worship cult, trudged through the blizzard toward the shelter's defensive perimeter alone, his dark golden eyes marking him as a chi observation superhuman. Fatty Su intercepted him at the line on Zhang Yi's orders, the protagonist watching through the scope of his golden desert eagle from an upper window. Zhao Jianhua bowed humbly, identifying himself and stating he came on the sect leader Yuan Kongya's orders to pay respects to Zhang Yi. He confirmed the intelligence Zhang Yi had already deduced. The Yangshan, Xiaoyu, and Qingpu bases had finalized a joint assault scheduled for 3 days hence. This explained the flurry of diplomatic contact from both Xing Tian and the cult today. Both factions were racing the clock to secure their positions before the attack window opened. The Grand Law Enforcer then dropped his pretense of mere diplomacy. Straightening with theatrical fervor, he denounced the coalition's vicious and shameless warlords and declared the Baishu cult's devout resistance to their murderous intent. He proposed not neutrality, but active military cooperation. The cult wanted to unite with Zhang Yi to destroy the other 3 forces. Zhang Yi's smile turned cold. He had expected this treachery. The 4-way coalition was a marriage of convenience held together only by greed, and the cult, ostracized, suppressed, and coerced into the alliance by Wei Dinghai, was the weakest link. Yang Xinxin's analysis had pinpointed them as the fracture point, and now the cult leadership had validated her prediction by sending their highest-ranking enforcer to defect. Zhao Jianhua argued passionately that the cult and Zhang Yi's shelter were kindred spirits, grassroots organizations without powerful backers, both stung by the jealousy and suppression of the entrenched major bases like Xishan. He framed it as a community of shared interest against hegemony. Zhang Yi found the rhetoric tedious, cutting through the love and peace veneer to the core motive. The cult had been severely suppressed and wanted revenge. He had no interest in power, territory, or ideological camaraderie, only in living comfortably through the apocalypse. Yet the strategic logic was undeniable. With the cult's defection, the coalition lost a faction and gained an internal threat. Zhang Yi acknowledged the prerequisite for cooperation, a shared desire to destroy Yangsheng and Xiaoyu bases, and prepared to name his terms, leaving the Grand Law Enforcer waiting in the freezing wind for an answer that would reshape the coming battle.